All right, we're getting all our live videos set up. Thank you to my production manager. She's doing a great job being patient with so many cameras, so many platforms. All right, looks good. Well, you do the best you can with your backdrop. So I just wanted to welcome everybody out to podcast number 9. We call this So What? It's Brent Knox's So What? So I want to say hi to everyone and hope you guys are having a great Friday. This is a Friday episode. And let me just go over real quick what we're going to be talking about today. So today is about diabetes. I'm going to tell you a little bit about what happened to me, what I use now as far as supplements, as well as some of the medicines I take and how I manage my diabetes. So once we got that over with, it's like after church, you have some fun. We're going to talk about Little Rascals, which back on Sunday, that would be before church, but we're going to do it after church. We're going to have a little discussion about the Little Rascals. And then for the last part of the show, we have our mystery guest who's here and excited to bring my first guest on. And excited that you have no idea who it is. So we're going to be surprised together. Well, I'm not surprised, but hopefully you guys are surprised. So I just wanted to start off with talking about what happened to me in but just going all the way back in let me shut this thing off. It says wake up. So back in 1986, and it was Christmas time, and my brother got a telescope. He got what I thought was the coolest Christmas gift ever. It was a telescope, so he could look up into the stars, see the planets. Of course, my brother and I didn't always get along, so there were days when I hoped my brother was looking at the sun so he can burn his eyeballs, but I tried to trick him, but that didn't happen. But anyways, he got a telescope, and what did I get? I got a microscope. And I was like, man, what a crummy gift. At first I saw, like, what am I going to do with a microscope? What am I going to look at? Like, I can't even look at ants. Like, I can look at ants with a magnifying glass. What's the big deal? But every day I started to look at different things through the microscope, and it was just a whole different world. You could see the cells, you could kind of see things moving around inside anything. And I just love that little microscope. Well, flash forward, it's about 2016. And I basically was working 2 different jobs. I was trying to get a TV show produced, which it was, at the same time I wasn't exercising. And so I just lost all my energy. I went to the hospital. My wife said, get in the car. I'm taking you to the hospital because I went to the doctor. He said, your blood sugar is a little bit high. And I go there and they said, your blood sugar, and my energy was just gone. So I lost all my energy. And I think it was just drinking too many Monsters. It was too much caffeine, too much junk food. And I didn't want to do anything. I just didn't want to move. I was cranky. I had lost a lot of muscle mass. I just was like skinny. And I don't know what it was. So I ended up at the hospital and they said, your blood sugar is 800 and something. You should be in a coma right now. So they were giving me insulin, keeping me in the hospital. I was suffering from ketoacidosis, and I was in the hospital for 3 days. And basically, I know, there were people that visited me, my parents, my friend Jim Togerson, which I'll never forget. He came to the hospital and visited me. And I was just so thankful, for that time. But it took me 3 days. I got over it. And then I couldn't even, my muscle mass wasn't there. That's when I started doing Zumba because the repetition is what my body needed and my muscles needed because I needed to rebuild. So today, what I did, and I've gone through a lot of different things. So the key to diabetes is managing your blood glucose. So I was diagnosed as type 2 diabetic, which means my body makes absolutely no insulin at all. And so that means every time I have carbs, I have to balance it out because my body does not make the insulin that destroys some of those the blood glucose, because it's your pancreas basically keeps it at a certain level. So the secret to diabetes is keeping your blood glucose, which is your blood sugar, which is what all your muscles and your brain need to function at a certain level. And that level is typically anywhere between 80. You don't want to prolong it 80 or 60 at low numbers, but anywhere between 80 and 160, 150. Those are ideal numbers. So the first thing you need is a continuous glucose monitor. I want to show you real quick what I use. So I tried to have a system so you can have one that like plugs in, or they have the ones that go in your arm and you scan it and it tells you exactly what your blood sugar rate is, your blood glucose level. I've gone back to a more traditional method. I've used others as well, but basically you just take this. It's a stick test. I'm going to show you how the stick test works. This one, put it in there. What does it say? It says put the blood in there, pop it, right? So I squeeze a little blood out. It doesn't hurt. Pop it in there. What's my number? Let's find out. 3, 2, 1. 180. So 180. You guys can see that. So it's a little bit high. So at this point, let's say if it was 280, right? I wanted about 150. 280 means I need to take 5 units of insulin. 5 units of insulin is about 100. So it's about, I always do the math. 100 equals 5 units of insulin, typically, and that's how I get it down. So right now, if I was going to eat, let's say a cheeseburger, I was going to eat something with X amount of carbs, I would probably take about 10 units of insulin. So that way I can continue to eat. And the secret is to just, snack and don't eat too much. But then the other thing I did is I changed my diet. So one thing I want to talk about. So the other thing I do, so I have a pen. I'll show you, but basically this is all day insulin. So I take this every morning. It's 24-hour insulin. It just gives my body that I take about 30 units. So it gives me that small amount of insulin that your body needs every day that your pancreas would normally make. Then I take, as I have carbs. So in the morning, I suffer from what's called a dawning, which means my blood sugar goes up, and it's not necessarily explainable in the morning, every morning. And I take about 15 units. So I take a large amount of insulin, quite a bit more than the carbs that I ingest. But later on in the day, I take a little bit less. So, but the rule is always during the day, the 100 units is 5. 100, if you're 100 units of blood glucose equals 5 units of insulin. So this is Lantus. This is all day insulin. This is Basaglar is the name. It's a generic, and that's what I use for all day insulin. The other one is Humalog. So let's say I needed to take some insulin. There's another one called the pump. So you can have an insulin pump. It can be connected to your abdomen. Some people put it on their leg, and I've tried them. I've used them many times. I've tried different kinds. And the Omnipod is the one that I've used that works the best. Because it doesn't necessarily fall off. It doesn't take too much insulin, and it doesn't have this tube that's connect like the Medtronic does, although Medtronic is coming out with some new stuff, and that should be interesting. But this is Humalog. This is a vial. So if I were to take a shot, let's show you how right now. Since I'm having a nice cup of coffee today, this is quite a bit of carbs. I want to have a few more carbs, and I know I'm at 180, so let's take 5 units of insulin. 5 units of insulin. Don't worry. I'm not going to show you guys pain and needle and blood. That's not cool. But basically put it in there. So what I did, look, let me show you what I did. I pulled out the 5 units I need, right? I put the 5 units in air. So I do it upside down in the vial. I pushed it up, and now I'm going to pull it down. Now you can see I'm at 5 units, right? So you guys don't look. I'm going to do it down here, but basically you can pinch your stomach, boop, and then pop it in right where you pinch it. And I don't know what it is, but I think it's a mental thing. I like giving myself my own shot. I don't necessarily like other people giving me a shot because you don't know when the pain's going to come. It's just a surprise. And I like to inflict the pain on myself. It's a very small pinch. It's not a big deal. And now I just took 5 units, so I can finish my coffee. I don't have to worry about it. If I check my blood sugar again in maybe an hour, I know it's going to be around 150 because that's about how many carbs I'm having. So that's how the insulin works. If you guys are taking stuff like metformin and you're type 1 diabetic, don't do it. Tell your doctor you want to. Those are for type 2 diabetics. Metformin makes it hard for your body and for you to compute how much insulin you actually need. So watch out for that stuff. They prescribe that typically to type 2 diabetics, and sometimes people do it for type 1, but for type 1, you don't want it. The other thing is talk a little bit about supplements. I'm going to talk super fast because I want to get through this. I want to get to the fun stuff. So here are the supplements that I currently take: cinnamon, glucosamine, CoQ10. Now we know the difference. So cinnamon can help with your blood sugar balance. It'll keep it. Glucosamine and chondroitin can help with your the fluid in your joints. That's very important. It helps with my back, so I'm not sore, that kind of stuff. CoQ10, they found people who died from heart disease and some of these major disease that involve your organs had a very low level of CoQ10 in them. So all I know is CoQ10, that was enough for me. I'm going to do it again. CoQ10 gummies. You can have those. I have 1 or 2 of those a day. A multivitamin, of course, you have to give your body all those vitamins. The daily veggie pills, like the you call like veggies in a capsule, that stuff, that's good too. I don't necessarily need it because I'm going to talk about a little bit of my diet. Turmeric, fish oil, this is good for your heart. And the last one, which is very good, it's for your circulation, and it's excellent, and I would recommend it for anybody. But it's called horny goat weed. So it is a weed, and you could use it powder. I put a little bit every day, and it keeps your circulation up. That's going to keep you, if you're diabetic, that's going to keep you from having those purple legs and all that other problems you have with the circulation. It will fix it. I guarantee it. I use it every day. So a little bit of horny goat weed. You can buy that wholesale, buy it as a powder. I put it in my shake every morning. The other medicines I do take are losartan, which is for high blood pressure, and atorvastatin, which is for cholesterol, so high cholesterol, which you never know what you're eating and everything. So what I did is I changed my diet. Okay, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about diet. So first thing I did, I went to a dietitian, and she basically said, read this book and go through all this stuff. And I got rid of my chips. I switched it to nuts. I got rid of regular milk. I switched it to almond milk, which had the 30 on it. It was a low calorie almond milk, which low carbs. It was great. I switched my bread from regular bread to like a whole grain. So Dave's Killer Bread, that kind of stuff. I eat at least one salad every day if I can. I have plenty of leafy greens. Also, one thing to remember is if you're going to have carbs, let's say you want to have carbs, just have less of them. So I had a lot less carbs on my plate, a lot less pasta, and I eat a lot of everything else, like the proteins and the fruit, that kind of stuff. Those are soluble. They're much better for you. And the last thing I wanted to say, as far as food goes, once a day, I make myself a spinach shake. Yeah, I know it sounds gross, right? Spinach, green, nasty, but I had no idea. Frozen spinach, and then you put in almond milk. I put a whole banana, including the peel, guayaba, you call it in Spanish, mangoes, but be careful. Those have tons of vitamin C, so you got to watch that. You could break out in hives, but maybe half a mango and the mango peel, persimmon. I put protein powder. I put juice like cranberry juice, all different kinds of juices, along with the almond milk, and mix it all up. You don't need ice. You don't need water. You don't need any of that stuff. Just try that. Make yourself a nice shake. It looks like, and if you have protein powder that's like a chocolate protein powder, it will taste, I think it's better than a McDonald's shake. It's awesome. It tastes good, and it gives me energy all day. Also, there are studies, and I can't prove this, but I have read that this is good for cancer, that spinach does all kinds of miracle things to your body. So make yourself a shake. That's what I do once a day, every day. So that's it. That's how I manage my diabetes is carbs equals, the shot I got to take. That's my insulin to carb ratio, keeps my A1C level down. And that's how I've been managing my diabetes since 2016. So I'm coming along good, and my doctor says everything's great. So I just do what they say. The other thing I want to talk about now is, before our special guest comes on, is the Little Rascals. So everyone loves the Little Rascals, right? I mean, how can you not love the Little Rascals? Hal Roach, he was an innovator. He basically showed how everyone could get together and get along. And it was like the model for how society should be by teaching the kids. They're just kids. So a few crazy facts I didn't know. I don't necessarily mean to be dark about the whole thing, but I wanted to bring up some things that were just some thoughts. Chubby Ubby died of obesity, which is kind of sad. but many of them live long and happy lives, super happy. I read about Farina and even Stymie and all those guys. And I was thinking about some of my favorite characters, and I have to say, if I had to pick one favorite, it would be Spanky. And the reason it was Spanky is because he's the Jerry Seinfeld. Like, was it Kramer said, he is the glue. He held everything together. If when we were watching our gang, if Spanky wasn't there, it just didn't have any meaning. I don't know if you guys ever agree with that or whatever, but that's my opinion. Of course, how do you say not mention all the other great characters? And I mentioned all my favorites: Porky, Buckwheat, Stymie, I said Farina, Jackie, Mary, Alfalfa. And basically, as kids, we watched these shows and then we went out and mimicked them. I don't know if you guys did any crazy stuff. I mean, I'll give you a list of the weird stuff that we did. One of them was, I would climb up into a tree, wear a really thick jacket, and then one of the brothers would knock it down, like cut it down, and we'd hold on to the tree and then let it fall all the way down. But then we got a little smarter. We kind of were talking the little kids in the neighborhood to doing stuff like getting inside a trash can, a metal one, and rolling it down the hill, thinking that would be a fun ride. And then even my brother tried to charge admission for that. How about putting a stick in a beehive? You find a beehive and kind of poke it around and see what happens and say, wow, that was crazy. Now it's your turn, right? The bees are already riled up. How about putting sand in a sandcastle? My brother got really mad because you have sandcastles we're building on the lake, and these kids would come and wreck our sandcastles when we went in the water. So what did he decide to do? I'm not really proud of this one, but he put glass in the sandcastle. We went out and we were on the water listening, and there was nothing but screaming and crying. And they kicked us out of the lake, and we couldn't go back. That was in Lake Sammamish for the whole summer, and that was a horrible time. The other thing, how about, and this did happen, my brother did do this. He did do it. He painted dog poop pink, put it in nice little wrappers, and he gave it to the neighbor kids. That was my one of my great brothers who came up with all the greatest ideas, I guess. But as the podcast goes, I will be sharing some of the other adventures. But those are some, the bad thing about Little Rascals. And you saw the Little Rascals movie, right? They took out all the fun, crazy stuff that could hurt kids and people, which we thought, it's not as fun as it was. But thank goodness, because you have a lot of kids doing the same stuff that we did when we were kids. So this comes to the next section. I wanted to tell you one thing. Be careful of people who call themselves the king. Nobody is the king of this land. We got rid of kings a long time ago. And you hear about this guy called Charlemagne the God, right? Don't let people say, that's my name. I am the king. I am the God. No, you're not. They don't control your language and your thought. You can say, I choose not to call you that. What's your real name? You have to come up with something else. And we know that in the past, Elvis called himself the king. Michael Jackson called himself the king of pop. And now LeBron calls himself the king of basketball, whatever. No, you're not the king of nothing. But you may be really good at what you do. And I'll give you that respect. But I'm not calling you that. But speaking of God, right? So here's a guy. I'm going to introduce him right now. I met him many years ago when I was doing karaoke. I saw this guy and they called him the Cookie Monster. And I said, what the heck? And he stood up and he did a song. He did Rap God, right, by Eminem. And he did it almost perfectly. And I said, who can do that, right? There's not very many people. I don't know. I have never really seen anyone that can do it like he does. So I want to make sure he's ready and he's going to come on in. So come and introduce Mr. Jose. Jose, are you here? He's scrambling. I think he was in the other room. Playing video games. No, just kidding. Here he is, Jose.
Still downloading.
What's up, Jose? How you doing, man? So Jose is going to have a seat right here. I've never had a guest on this show, so we're going to be in some cramped quarters, but hopefully you guys can see Jose. All right, Jose. Well, Jose, I have my own list of my favorite albums and my favorite artists and everything. And I wanted to kind of go through some of that stuff with you. So I know you were talking about your favorite artists. So Jose is going to name his top five artists in order, starting with number 5. Jose, what's your number 5? So the criteria is if you were stuck in a jail, or let's say a cage, which is still morbid and sad, but whatever. Let's say we got stuck in a cage and you get to pick whatever song we listen to or whatever artist that you have to listen to that artist. What's your number 5?
My top 5 artists.
Yeah, what's your number 5?
My number 5 is wait, all type 5?
No, I want the bottom one because we're gonna work our way up.
Oh, Sugar Free.
Sugar Free.
Yeah.
How's that one go?
Oh, I don't have any top.
Oh, it's the artist, right?
Yeah.
Okay, why is that? Why I don't even know who Sugar Free is.
Oh, it's rap, but I just like him because of the way he taps his pens and stuff.
So he taps his pins like in the song?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I gotta see that. So what's the next one?
Eminem.
Oh, Eminem. I knew he was gonna make any of your top 5. All right, what's number 3?
Lil Wayne.
Lil Wayne. And he likes both of those guys because of their lyrics. They're great lyricists. What's the next? What's number 2?
Ice Cube.
Ice Cube. That's a good choice.
Yeah.
And what's your number 1?
Kendrick Lamar.
Kendrick Lamar. So he's kicking himself because he's not at the concert. I think Kendrick Lamar is going to be in town sometime soon. I was listening on the radio, but hopefully, Jose is going to make it out to one of those concerts. You ever been to a Kendrick Lamar concert?
I haven't.
Haven't? Oh, okay. So there you go. That's on your list, right?
Yeah, it's on my list.
Your top 5. So, and Jose has a few songs. So what's your number 5 song? So I asked him to list his 5 favorite songs. He's gonna go from 5 up to 1. So what's your 5th favorite song?
My 5th favorite song, per artist, I don't have a top 5 for Sugar Free, but
So he wanted to come up with one for Sugar Free, and he'll have to get back to us later because he says he put Sugar Free as the whole artist as his number 5 song. What's your number 4?
My number 4 is Lose Yourself.
Lose Yourself by Eminem, Eminem's premiere song. It's one of his only positive songs, if you want to put it that way.
Yeah.
It's all about positivity.
Yeah.
So what's number 3?
Can't Be Broken.
Can't Be Broken.
Yeah.
I don't know that one.
Yeah.
How about number 2?
Friday by Ice Cube.
Friday by Ice Cube. You guys got to listen to that one. Of course, it is Friday, and that was his reason because everyone loves Friday, right?
Exactly.
Okay, what's your number 1?
DNA by Kendrick Lamar.
DNA by Kendrick Lamar. So I don't even know what that song is. We're gonna have to listen to it later. I got Mona Lisa going crazy over here. I'm gonna try to hang her back up. But how does I don't know if you want to rap right now, but you got any lyrics you want to share from your DNA?
I don't. I could pull.
Man, we got to do some karaoke on the fly. I was thinking of getting like a little speaker and then just giving them a mic and let them go crazy. But we'll have to, if we go out tonight, we do some karaoke next time. What I'll have him do his favorite song, DNA, and then I'll see if he can do a Sugar Free song as well, because those are the 2 I'm not real familiar with. So he's gonna familiarize me with those songs. So okay, excelente. Okay, the last thing I want Jose to tell us a little bit about, because it's always fascinating when I talk to him. Jose is studying for kind of a unique profession, and I want Jose to kind of tell what he's studying for, what he's learning, and what he hopes to become. So what are you studying for?
Mortuary science.
Mortuary science.
Yeah.
So he used to be called the Cookie Monster, but he has a new nickname. And what is that nickname?
You're calling me the Undertaker.
He's the Undertaker. So he's studying to be the Undertaker. This is Jose, the future Undertaker, the rap master. So what have you learned so far about
communications, criminal justice, basically physical education, college writing. It's a little bit of everything. Anatomies next, buildings next, history's next. And then after that, I'll be able to apply for the mortuary science program. And then but it's right around the corner. I'm 2 semesters away.
He's 2 semesters away from going to the next step where he can actually start learning some of the mortuary science. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
So awesome. That's one thing that everybody needs, right? Everyone needs, what they say, the Mr. Wonderful, right? You ever watch the Shark Tank?
Right.
He would say people spend the most money on birth, on marriage, and on death. Well, and buying a house. So there's 4 times when they spend the most money. So I think he's in the right industry because, like it or leave it, eventually you're going to have to spend that money. They said there's no uncertainty. The only 2 uncertainties in life is death and taxes, and that is not true. You could duck taxes your whole life, but you have to pay. You have to find a way to pay for your own cremation or your own at the end of your demise. Somebody has to pay for that. So I think you're in the right industry, my friend.
Exactly. It's you have your life and death, and
so I can't wait till he gets his, he starts working and everything, because I think he's going to be able to share the coolest stories. So far, he's been just sharing the coolest stories of college and how things work over there, and it's been pretty interesting. So wanted to say thanks to Jose. Is there anything else you want to say?
No, thank you for everyone for listening to me today.
All right, cool. Thanks, Jose. High five.
Thank you.
All right, so Jose, he's done. Okay, this is the end of the live session. I hope you guys liked our mystery guest.
Thank you.
He's the rap master, who's also the future Undertaker, formerly the yeah. Well, we're gonna do it later, but look, we do have a rapping setup, and we will be doing this next time. We got to practice a little bit, but with Jose. So, but we're not ready for that right now. We will be doing that at a different date. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys have a great weekend. It's got a lot of echo.
Don't worry, I'll fix it right now.
So we're putting Jose on the spot. The guy's shy as it is, but man, when he gets up in front of a crowd, he sure can do his rap. So they're doing some echo. I know you guys can't see what's going on, so we're going to end the video stream right now. I hope you guys liked it and you had a good time. And Gabriella wants him to do something. You want him to do some rapping?
Yes.
What's his Kendrick Lamar business? The DNA.
I can do it without the mic.
Okay, here he goes. He don't need a mic. Okay, so before we go, Jose is going to do a small verse from Kendrick Lamar's DNA, and I hope you guys like it. So he's looking it up right now. He's gonna cheat a little bit. He's gonna read it. I mean, who can memorize all that stuff? It's tons of it. But anyway, while he's looking that up, I want to tell you one thing. I didn't give my part of the story, so I wanted to list out my top bands. No, that's too much echo. I don't want that. Thank you. No, please. Okay, look. Okay, I want to list out my 5 top bands and my 5 top songs. So my 5 top bands, number 5. No, it's echo. It doesn't sound good, please. Number 5, Oingo Boingo. Oingo Boingo. And number 4, They Might Be Giants. Number 3, Smashing Pumpkins. Number 2, Depeche Mode. Number 1, get that shit out. I'm going to break that thing. Number 1, Erasure, with an honorable mention to Radiohead and Weezer. My top 5 favorite songs. Number 5, Erasure, Because You're So Sweet. Aphex Twin, Film. Woman in Chains by Tears for Fears. Please stop. Please. Try by Smashing Pumpkins. And my number 1 favorite song is Spacesuits. It's called Spacesuits by They Might Be Giants. So you guys can look that up if you want. So here we go. We're gonna have a little Jose rapping time. So you can't hear the music. Can you turn the music up? Yeah. So he's gonna turn up the music. You can get a little bit of Jose. That doesn't sound good with the echo. Okay, here we go.
I got riches building inside my DNA. I got dark cloud. I got evil that ride inside my DNA. I got off. I got troublesome heart inside my DNA. I just win again, like Level 10 I serve. Yeah, then it's him again. The sound of the engine is like a bird. You see fireworks and Corvette tire skirt. The boulevard, you know how you work. I know just who you are. See, you probably a switch inside your DNA. Probably is all that sucker inside your DNA. Daddy's probably inside a heritage inside your DNA. Backbone don't exist. Born inside a jellyfish I gauge. See my pedigree, most definitely don't tolerate the inside. I've been to probably offend you. This is probably oldest son. On the murder, the conviction, burner, Brewster, burglar, dead, presentation, scholar, father, son, with the kid, I brought this apart for goodness. Yeah. So this DNA. Born inside the British, my expertise checked out in second grade when I was 9 on a cell model, and we didn't have nowhere to stay. At 29, I done so well to hit a cartwheel in my estate, and I'm gonna shine like it's supposed to. Antisocial extrovert, and they send me extra work, and that's what the hurt. And never struck the nerve. That's a riff gonna play the case. It says my powers are here on earth. So look, the trust when the prophet said, I got loyalty, got royalty inside my DNA. I got loyalty, got royalty inside my DNA.
Sweet. All right. Excellent. We love it. Bravo.
Thank you.
All right. We got DNA from Kendrick Lamar. We have our friend Jose. Thank you for joining us. Hope you guys have a nice Friday. We're going to go out and do some karaoke. I hope you guys have a good Friday. Make it a good one if it's not. And hope you guys get some singing in to have some fun because music is very important. And thank you very much, you guys. All right. We'll see you guys on Monday. I will be back.